Hi everybody. What I want to do today is to talk about being normal and what that means in the context of moving from conflict to clarity. My sense is that we each grow up in an environment with families, with carers, parents who treat us in particular ways, perhaps well, perhaps poorly. And we learn a bunch of lessons as a consequence of that. We grow up with a particular skin colour, perhaps in a particular religion, of a particular race in a particular country. And all of those factors have an effect on us. And it stretches back beyond that. It's not just our parents or carers' backgrounds and treatment, but it's how they were treated and how they were treated. There's a historical pattern, there's a sequence of history that has led to me sitting in this chair, being the person who I am, behaving in the way that I behave. And I broadly think of what I do and how I behave as being normal. It's what I know and it's what I'm familiar with. And the danger is that when I view what I have as normal, I see other people behaving in different ways to me, with different views, with different attitudes, with different behaviours, and I see that as not normal, perhaps as weird. And what I think about every time when the opportunity is there, when I walk into a room to train people, and people come into that room and they sit, and I start doing some work with them about mediation or conflict, whatever that might be. Before I start, what I notice is that I think I have no idea what any person in this room is carrying with them. I don't know what their history is, I don't know what their background is, I don't know what their sensitivities and their vulnerabilities are. I don't know what is normal for them. And the danger of some of the things that I view as normal means that if I don't pay attention to them, I can easily be oppressing other people. So a very simple one for me is that as a white man, I don't get stopped in the street. I don't get harassed by the police. I think once in my life, when I was young, I was stopped by the police. It isn't something that happens to me. So what's normal for me as a white man living in the UK is I don't get stopped by the police. And what I know is that if I was a black man, I probably would have been stopped by the police on a number of occasions. So what's normal for me isn't necessarily what's normal for somebody else. And I need to be really respectful and thoughtful about that. Not only that, I also think that if I want to live in a world where there is greater clarity, where there is greater justice, I have to take overt action to balance justice. And in order to do that, I really need to look at what's normal for me. What's the power, what's the privilege that I have as a consequence of who I am in my history? And how is that different from the power and privilege that other people have or don't have? So my invitation to you is really pay attention to what you think of as normal. What you think of as normal might be oppressive to somebody else. And if it is, stop, challenge yourself, do something about it, educate yourself. That will help us all to move from places of conflict to places of clarity. And I've used this word a couple of times today. It'll also help us to move to a place of greater social community justice.